Good afternoon, traders. It's Thursday, March 12th at 2:53 p.m. Time for our daily recap. We had IWM and we had USO for our day trades. So the market's been a little sideways today. It wasn't really a massive move. It was down a little bit in the morning, and then it's just been going sideways for a bit. So let's look at this. We were bullish above 251, bearish below 248.75. So the 251, that didn't happen. The high here was 251 on the nose, so you'd enter at 251.01, breaking above that. But anyway, we had mapped this out at 4 a.m., which was right here. This is where we were mapping it out to begin with, maybe a couple minutes past that. So this one shot up pre-market to about 7:40 in the morning, didn't trigger us in. We were bearish below 248.75. Now, there were a couple opportunities to get in at the 248.75, and that was just before the market opened. That was 9:10. Now, you can see this mess that's here. The market opens at 9:30, so we upthrusted, pulled back, hit a couple targets, which was 248 and then 247.50. The low here was 247.49. That hit our target, but you see this whippiness. There was a much better entry because look at this. We moved up, but then we had increasing volume right there, and look, this engulfed a couple of candles with increasing volume, and that was the better downside at 248.75. This one actually threw it down the stairs a little bit to a low here of 246.58, and you can see that there's these prints here. And then this was the pretty much, you can see we can draw a box around this. One of the new features, you can draw boxes. You can pretty much see this for the day, right? This is a bit of a mess. So you've got the, oh, I've got too many boxes now. You've got the break and the retest. The break, retest, back into the box. So you're in 50% range of all of this, which isn't really that great. There's a cam here, and then you've got, there's a higher high, higher low, higher high, lower high, lower low, sorry, lower high. This is just a complete mess here to trade. It's almost like we're in a triangle if we drew more lines and stuff. But anyway, it looks like it might be pulling back a little bit here, so we'll see what's going on with that. Let's move on and look at USO. Okay, so USO, we were bullish above 113.25. So remember, this morning we had to adjust it because it started moving. Let's find our opening. So we were mapping this out around here. 4 a.m., look, USO had dropped down a little bit and then moving up. So when we were mapping this out, it was about 4:20 or something like that. We had to remap it because we were bullish above 113, and then we're like, oh, 113.25. So this one came up to 114, and so that was our first target, but then we pulled back to 112. We gave it another go, and 7:45, look, this from 7:45 on the pre-market, 113.25, this was breaking above again. So it tested this, came back, tested again, failed. Revving up, that was a great entry, 113.25. Look at that. That one is a textbook. And this one, the 4 and the 8 ran together, except this little blip here. They came back and touched each other, but ran like this all the way to the high of the day, 118.52. So we had targets up to 118, and at this point I was like, okay, 120 and things, because it's just on a roll. So 118, and then it went to a high of 118.52, pulled back, and then it started on its roll again. So what's the high right now? We're almost at the current day's high. We've got this $118.98K from the other day. Now let's see what we've got for prints for the day. If I click that, we've got a 50K and a 64K, and you can see there that at the high, and maybe in around here, and then we were up to that print, back to the print, up, test the print, moved up, and then in this mess again, and you can see how we're hugging these prints. So maybe there's another print, and if this one will continue higher into the end of the day. All right, there you have it. Those are the results of your trade setups for today. So please like, share, subscribe, do all of that great stuff. Sign up for our weekly report, which is mobyticktrading.com/weekly-report, where we look at swing trades, learn more about the dark pools, and give you some trade setups that you could possibly take. We review them every week, so I think this is week 5 coming up, and they've been doing quite well. So happy trading, everyone. MobyTick has partnered with TrendSpider to bring real-time institutional trades to your charts. Click the link in the description below for more details.